What's happening, people? Welcome to Music Monday. And today in the Skillet, we're going to be talking about a tune I wrote years ago called Grace. So, kind of an interesting pre-story to this one because, John and Gene and I have that kind of proggy side project called the Raptor Trail. Well, we made 4 albums with that band. On the second album, I had written this tune that was originally called Grace. And I was letting a friend of mine in Columbia, Walter Early, listen to it. He says, that song's really not about grace. That song's about desolation. So, I said, you're right. Although grace was mentioned in the last verse, the song was clearly not about grace. So, the opposite, in fact. So, I said, you know what? We'll call this song on the Raptor record Desolation. And I'll go ahead and write a song that's really more about grace. That'll be calling a response to that desolation song. And we'll put them right behind each other on that album. So, that's what I did. That's where all this got going. So I sat down one morning, I was in Dad Gad, and I've been picking around on this little piece of picking music. It's really pretty. I'll play it here in a minute. And sat down and wrote that song, Grace. So that's where it came from. There's a version of it on the Raptor Trail record that you can go listen to. And what's cool about it is Meyer put these sound effect crickets and cicadas and stuff in the background. Because one summer, we were up there playing it on my porch. We had all the windows open and you could hear the crickets and stuff. And it sounded just like that when we were both playing on acoustic guitars. So that's kind of the way that we ended up recording it on that version. Such a good tune, we decided to recut it and put it on the Coyotes' latest record. All right, so I want to dive into the lyrics a little bit. What's it about? Well, it's about both kinds of grace, really a Christian sense grace where we have that our lives are sanctified through God. And then it also has the other definition of grace, which is really like giving somebody grace, maybe when they don't necessarily deserve it, turning the other cheek. So it kind of ties both of those conceptual ideas of grace into the song. There's some really good lines in it. One of them that comes to mind is one of those slogans that hung on my dad's wall in that fitness center said, "Work is not a curse, but one of God's greatest gifts to man." And there's a little bit of that in the first verse when it says, "And the work is not a curse, but water for your thirst." So wait. And a lot of this song really is about being still and being patient enough to experience that grace or to give that grace. We get so wrapped up, people push your buttons, things happen, you can fly off the handle. There's enough stuff you bombarding every day in life to get you good and riled up. I tell anybody, you put anyone in a corner and poke them with a stick long enough, they'll get good and mad. So, we all need grace and we all need to give it. So that's what this song is about. I really like the way this one came off. And thanks to Meyer for telling me to put it out because, it was kind of an afterthought song when I wrote it. And, now I look at it and I'd probably have written close to 300 songs and I'd have to put this one up around the top. I'd sent it to Darius Rucker and told Darius, I said, "Dude, you need to cut this song." Hadn't heard back from him yet. Please listen to this one if you hadn't ever heard it. And by all means share it because this one came out pretty good. All right, guitar players, I'll show you a little bit first. Get in Dad Gad, I love the Dad Gad. So it's all finger pick. I'm just going to show you a little bit of how I play it. It's a D right there. And then you're grabbing your 4th string like your A, and you're sliding up to two steps, 2 frets. That's a G. And back to that A slide. Slide it again. A. Back to the G. So it's a simple song, chord-wise and standard. It's all finger picking in Dad Gad, so it's real pretty. Kind of has that Celtic flavor again to it. So today in the Skillet for Music Monday, a beautiful tune, and please share it. If you never heard this one, a tune I wrote years ago called Grace, and as Paul Harvey would say, now you know the rest of the story. And you do.